Oh! Oh! Oh my God!
So they're saying that it may have been Atlas sending signals saying that, hey, we're gonna be there one day. Back in 1977, okay? Put a pin.
Yo, welcome back to the channel, gang. In today's compilation, we'll look at some creepy and interesting TikToks that'll make you question everything. And if you do get value from this video, be sure to hit the like button, sub up, and let's get it.
In China, if you jaywalk, a facial recognition system will instantly post your image on a public shaming board and automatically connect to your bank card to deduct the fine from your account.
I'd rather pay double the ticket than to go through that public humiliation.
There was a wow signal that basically was from a satellite they got from back in 1977, right? So they're saying that it may have been Atlas sending signals saying that, hey, we're gonna be there one day. Back in 1977, okay? Put a pin in that. Think about that year. There's a song that came out in 1977 by Sammy Hagar called Crack in the World. He says in the song, there's a great divide coming in 2025. This is in the song. Then he says, we only have 50 years left. What's 50 years from 1977? 2027. So is 2025 the kickoff into whatever bullshit they're gonna put us in for the next couple years? Okay? That's one. Two, ChatGPT just came out with something very interesting. They're doing a lot of crazy things right now. They came out with their own browser to compete with Google Chrome. Guess what the Chrome browser, or excuse me, guess what the ChatGPT browser is called?
I'll say Atlas.
It's called Atlas.
I hate this
You
shit.
can't make this shit up.
I fucking hate it.
They just rolled that out. Okay? It just happened. So how is it all these coincidences line up? Okay? So I'm just saying, they know what that thing is, and they're not telling us whether it actually is aliens or if it's some fake shit. Whatever it is, they're planning something.
So the latest in this dystopian outrage that is now all of China apparently is I once again cannot buy food. A couple days ago, my uncle and my cousin helped me get a cell phone that is linked to a Chinese bank card so that I could buy anything. But now, apparently, it has been flagged for some reason, and I have to pass facial recognition identity verification, which is insane, because all I want to do is just spend my gift card balance on this debit card. I can't believe I'm doing this. I have to open my mouth. Oh my god. Terrifying. Oh. And of course, because it was my cousin who set this up for me, I did not pass verification. I guess it's a good thing that the Chinese app is not racist. But now I once again can't buy anything.
We better wake up, because this seems to be exactly what the Bible spoke about that would happen in the last days.
I can't be the only one to find this bizarre. What Justin Bieber posted. And I know that he knows all of the quote unquote conspiracies about this right here. About that certain emoji that he used to cover his child's face. This is very bizarre stuff indeed. And again, you know that he knows exactly what he is doing when he does this right here. Why else would he use the emoji that he used? Why else? Ask yourself that question, because this is very, very bizarre. This is very, very bizarre.
Probably Justin wanted to keep his kid's face private, but he used the wrong emoji for that.
Oh! Oh! Oh my God!
If you have any idea where this is, drop in the comments.
Is the founder and host of Guide TV. Interestingly, during one of his services, Yusuf's head briefly transformed into a reptilian-looking creature.
And I don't do it through debates. I don't need to debate any Christian. I was a Christian. I am a Muslim. If you want, I can give you both sides, easy. But he will ask you if you delivered the message. I'll play both parts. I'll be the Christian and tell you this, and then I'll be the Muslim and give the answer. You were at a place and you saw somebody change their religion to another religion in the temple of that religion, and the father was the priest there, what would you think?
Unless this is a transformation that can only be caught by camera and not by the human eye, this could very well be video manipulation.
This company built a robot vacuum cleaner for the ocean. It's called Circular Blue. And the way this thing works is insane. Now, the goal of this device is to pick up floating plastic and trash in the water. So to find the plastic, the mothership sends out autonomous AI-powered scout drones that scan the water from above. When they locate something, the hub dispatches a GPS-powered vessel to go and collect it. And this process happens over and over all throughout the coastline. The entire system is fully autonomous, solar-powered, and uses seawater to propel itself. So in theory, this machine could run forever. But the most interesting part of the story is not the technology itself. The most interesting part is who created it. It turns out Circular Blue was invented by Rhino Shield, a Taiwanese company that manufactures phone cases. And it sounds weird at first, but if you think about it, this is a genius business move. Rhino Shield is using the collected ocean plastic to manufacture new phone cases from recycled materials. They call this fully circular production. And it's genius because they get a triple benefit: great PR on the initiative, a positive impact on the world, and an unlimited supply of raw materials to keep producing new products. This first Circular Blue prototype was a $2 million investment into the future of ocean sustainability. And if it works, they plan to scale this effort all around the world.
So the Titanic had bankers on there that opposed the Federal Reserve.
Right.
This is documented. And
Okay.
they didn't like the Federal Reserve. They're like, this, I can't get down with this. This makes no sense. And then, have you ever read The Creature from Jekyll Island?
No.
explains everything in detail, what happened. So you have these bankers that are on the ship. What bankers weren't on the ship? Oh, JP Morgan and his wife leave the night before, all his luggage. Say, I'm out. Coincidence? And then he's one of the bankers that run the financial system now, to this day. Because the Federal Reserve is a bank owned by other banks. And this is why we have, the 12.
The Federal Reserve is a bank owned by other banks. And what are those banks? Because that was deep.
Yeah, so you have JP Morgan, you have, Wells Fargo, all of these major banks. That's who runs the whole game right now. For sure. So, oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, JP Morgan was involved with Epstein too. Because remember that whole lawsuit that they had against JP Morgan? And they knew what was going on with Epstein because they ran all his banks and whatnot. JP Morgan paid out the victims millions of dollars, 75 million, 200 million, like. So these are the banks that we're talking about. So again, the Federal Reserve is a private entity doing business with United States Inc. Because the United States of America is different from United States Inc.
Do know that.
Okay.
Understand sovereignty.
Of course. Why do you think that every state has a different set of laws? We have a common law, right? Federal and all that. But then we have state laws. That's where they got us.
Stories like that makes you wonder if certain extreme tragic events are really accidents.
So Brandon Biggs is the guy who made the prophecy that Trump would get hit in the ear. Now he's back again, making another prophecy that there's going to be a huge ship going across the ocean in the days ahead.
Saw these major alien ship, and it flies over the Vatican, and it goes over the Mayan temples down in Mexico. And I said, Lord, is there two of these? Because I keep praying about this. And he said, no, it's just one. And that's what's going to make everybody freak out because they're going to see it moving across the ocean. You understand? It's going to be something that's going to be on TV. It's going to move across the ocean. And people are going to freak out in the days ahead. Then I saw little bitty ships coming out of this mothership that were balls of light. And it wasn't a real ship. It was demonic looking light that was traveling around causing confusion in our skies. You say, Brandon, that sounds way out there. Yeah, it is. It was way out there to me. I didn't even want to talk about it. But I'm instructed to. You say, well, Brandon, that sounds like you're on something. Well, no, folks, I'm just here to warn you. I'm just here to warn you. And as wild out there as a sound, fearful sights you will see that will bring you to your knee. I'm here to warn you. The enemy is not playing fair with trying to deceive people with what's coming. He's going to throw all the curveballs he can to try to deceive the nations. When the Antichrist steps on the scene and he says, hey, we have a solution for all the problems in the days ahead. I have peace. I'm going to bring peace. I'm going to bring in prosperity. I'm going to do all this. But all you have.
So he says a big ship is coming. Here's the question. Are there big ships? Well, people who study underwater have said that there are football-sized things underwater moving at least 200 miles per hour.
You received intelligence that suggests that there are perhaps deep water alien bases right now sitting on the ocean floor on this planet. Is that accurate?
I would say that's pretty accurate.
Can you go into more detail? How long have they been here? Where are they?
Well, I'm extrapolating all this with my East Tennessee vernacular. So we've got five or six deep water areas of our oceans. We actually know more about the surface of the moon than we do about these areas. And these are areas where we have a high frequency of UFO or UAP sightings. We've had naval folks have told me pretty high up that they've actually tracked these things. Now, we have stuff that can go underwater probably 30 to 40 miles an hour, maybe something a little faster that the Chinese haven't stole from us yet. And we've tracked things big as a football field going 200 miles an hour. Now, I realize in the water you extrapolate that to knots and all that, but just for good old East Tennessee common sense, 200 miles an hour, something the size of a football field. And we don't know what it is.
200 miles per hour, the size of a football field. Here's my question, guys. Was the movie Independence Day showing future events? I don't know. But here's what I gotta tell you. Be close with the Lord. No matter what the situation is, no matter what's to come. Because at the end of the day, God is your covering. No matter what you see in this reality. Amen?
I think scientists are so fixated on having rockets sent to the moon, but whatever that's in that ocean going 200 miles per hour might need our full attention.
Also, let's talk about this whole alien thing. Now, with all of the information that's been coming out over the last, 15, 20 years pretty much, most of you, if you truly are chosen, have felt it in your heart and you have absorbed some of that information into your heart, into your soul, because the Almighty has allowed you to understand that there is a lot of truth there, okay? Now you have to remember, there's a lot of guys on TikTok out here telling you right now that those who are coming are not actually aliens. Well, I've been saying that for years also. Here's what they are. They're the spirits of the Nephilim, the displaced spirits of the Nephilim, the giants, the titans, right? The demigods of the pre-flood era. That's who these demons are. Now, if they indeed have found a way to live in these little alien flesh suits, or they're possessing people, or whatever the case may freaking be, it doesn't matter, because we serve the Most High. And if we're going to spend all of our time just being concerned over every light that we see in the sky, when the Almighty tells us himself that they're going to be throwing sky signs and wonders in the skies, then we're going to be missing the point. Yes, we're supposed to be paying attention. Yes, we're supposed to be aware of the situation so that we don't get caught off guard. But being too aware can also mislead you. You understand? Focus on the Most High. Focus on the will of the Master, of Yeshua. What does he want you to do today? I'm supposed to get up, honor him, say my prayers, study, soak his word into my core, go out for the day and live my life for him. Okay? Yes, things are coming. Huge things, right? Revelation type things are coming. We know that. But don't believe the hype, because no matter what it is, I don't care if it's spaceships pulling up over your cities, I don't care what it is. It's not the Master. Don't honor it. Don't pay attention to it. Don't fall for it. Guard yourselves with his word. Remember, at some point they're going to be coming for our Bibles. So for those of you who haven't taken the time to let that word soak into your spirit, you need to do so. And like I said in my previous video, if indeed these are the tribulation days, that would mean that you and I are the tribulation saints. So we damn well better start acting like them.
Well, we know why they selected Bad Bunny to perform the halftime show at the Super Bowl. Well, I don't know about y'all, but I know. But if you know like me, leave it down below in the comments. I mean, it's obvious. It's right there in your face. I don't know. You got eyes, right? You can see. You can see why, right? He played their game to the best of his abilities. And as you can see, they rewarded him by letting him perform at the halftime, y'all. Look at the picture. Just take a look at the picture, y'all. Bad Bunny finna be doing his thing on stage. On the biggest platform. But y'all see why though. People is not understanding, like, why Bad Bunny? Come on, I mean, it's obvious. He paid his dues and they wanted to select him. He was really committed to his craft, y'all. To rising up in the rankings. So all in all, y'all think they grabbed the right person? Let me know down below in the comments. This shit crazy.
Whatever dues he paid is the dues we gotta stay far away from.
How does your Fitbit or your IBM Square Pin or your Apple Watch get all those biological, physiological signals out of your body to the app for your fitness tracker on your phone, your iPad? And the reason I'm asking is because I'm going to take a guess that you're not wearing when you first get up in the morning and you're brushing your teeth, getting dressed, etc. I'm going to guess that you're not putting on an EEG cap with all these little electrodes And I'm going to guess you don't spend your day walking around with an oxygen meter on your finger. And I'm going to guess that you don't have the EKG, electrocardiogram, sticky pads that you get at the hospital covering your chest. Every morning you get up, you're putting on your EEG cap, all these stickers for the EKG. You put your oxygen meter on your finger, and you start walking around the house and go to work and drive and take care of your children, right? Are you laughing? It's funny, right? Nobody's doing that. There are way too many people out there that are avoiding how simple the crux of all of these problems really is. If you're not getting up every morning and putting on your oxygen sensor, your EEG cap with all the electrodes, and you're not putting EKG stickers all over your chest, then HOW, are you getting all those biological signals? Did you know that we've had pacemakers in human bodies for a long time? Probably. Even those of us with grandparents in the 80s and the 90s, pacemakers were a thing. Yeah, okay. HOW. Here's your cell phone. I'm going to send a text message. HOW. All right, I'm sending a text message. Do you see anything leaving the phone with little wings on it physically? No. Do you see the waves coming off the phone physically with your eyeballs? No. Okay. Can you tell me how that message is encoded and decoded in cybersecurity, routing protocols, networks, commercial and or military? Because I can, and I did for 3 years. I have a resume with proper work experience to explain to people exactly how the text message leaves the phone, through the wireless in your home, out to the drop outside your house, with the internet service provider systems that we have in use right now today. That's my own resume. You see, because of something called R&D, research and development, and the way the United States does business in information technology, now known as information communication technology, and because of that thing I mentioned about all my family members having jobs, this whole experience with the convid has been completely unique to me. Everybody else in the world is going off in 100 different directions, and I'm just still sitting here going, are you going to tell people how long you've been doing this?
The people at the Pentagon who say it's demons. Tell them that story. Tell them about the demons.
Yeah,
it's Halloween. Yes. Tell them about the demons. What is that, Dan? Go into that.
In the film, one of the senior intelligence officials named Jay Stratton, he was the director of air and space warfare at the Defense Intelligence Agency, and then he ran the U.S. government's UAP task force. He tells a story about how he was trying to run this issue up the flagpole and bring attention to it.
At the Pentagon.
At the Pentagon, in a serious office space. And his superiors told him that they thought these things were demons and that he was doing the devil's work by looking into it. And on camera in the film, he says, I can't believe these words were coming out of their mouths. He's like, I'm briefing them on an advanced aerospace vehicle that's absolutely there. It's been spotted by trained observers like our Navy fighter pilots in their $80 million airplanes that we trust them with, right? It's been spotted on data collection systems like satellite and radar. And this guy's telling me it's a demon. It's insane. And he's like, my mind was blown, and this is something I'm dealing with inside of the government.
It's Halloween. Let me just ask the final question for the panel. Do you think demons and the devil are real?
Absolutely. I'm a Bible-believing Christian. I definitely, and I believe those could be fallen angels.
All these things could be real.
Fallen angels?
Yeah, fallen
The
angels.
aliens are fallen angels.
That's possible. I think that's what they could be. That's what makes sense in my worldview.
Michael?
No.
I think MTG could be right about this. I think the alien creatures could be fallen angels.
Now, yesterday in Spain, a photographer came across a leucidic animal called the Liberian lynx, and they usually show up when there's about to be an ecological humanitarian crisis because they're basically the environmental messengers that's connected to the Atlantean energetic grid system. Now, when you get into the metaphysics of theological context, it talks about a great majority of these mythological creatures that's in the Bible. So when you go to Revelation chapter 21, verse 1, it says a new heaven and a new earth. That is the third dimension merging in with the fifth dimension. The physical world merging in with the quantum world at the same time, to where a lot of these mythological creatures start to show up in the form of an omen. When you get into the esoterics of indigenous culture, anytime that the universe sends a Lucidic animal to the planet, they're basically a galactic messenger. Because when you look at the eyes of a Liberian lynx, their eyes have the ability to pierce the veil. And the white coating of their fur is a representation of the light body being activated during the time of the Great Awakening period as you have the fall of the physical world. All I'm gonna say is that the more the planet speeds up in vibration, the more these Pokemon is gonna start popping up. And you can just tell by looking at the eyes of the Liberian lynx, it has an ancient energy. Because like I said, there's an ancient energy just coming to the planet to combat the negative forces.
I'm not sure what this Iberian links are all about or why they choose now to come out of hiding, but this world is crazy enough.
I found this book at the local antique shop yesterday, and it was written in 1926 by Major General Count Sherep Spiridovich, The Secret World Government or the Hidden Hand, Unrevealed in History, 100 Historical Mysteries Explained. This man is explaining that there's a hidden hand, there's a secret government, and they are of the nature of the individuals who are taking over now, the blues with a J, that they are the ones that have been running society because they made a pact with a god. He calls it Satan, but that's his position. But I want to read to you this very specific. I have to be careful about what I really was trying to debate whether to put this on the internet at all, because it could really get me in trouble. But this particular page, I just want you to see this particular part where he says right here, he's talking about proof of the existence of this invisible world government, this hidden hand. He says, the world is governed by very different personages from what is imagined by those who are not behind the scenes, i.e., not by kings and ministers. Disraeli said not others, but different, which means not the kings, ministers, or other similar men, but absolutely different, possibly even of a different race. Who they are must be known first of all, and only then can we control them and establish peace, but not before. You know how I'm always saying, I'm calling them creatures and creeps, and I'm saying they're not human. I don't know what they are. And this has been my biggest reason around this. I ain't unifying, because I don't know what these things are. This apparently has been known. And this has nothing to do with religion. I'm not talking about religion or race. I'm talking about like a species of a soul or something that's on this planet. And that's what he's talking about here. Yeah, he says, Bismarck, the Iron Chancellor, perceived the existence of invisible forces, but could not or did not wish to formulate them, and called them imponderabilia, powers which no one could fathom. I think I saw where you could get this book, like a free PDF, and read it. I didn't try the link, but I did see something come up in my Google search about it, so maybe you can find it and read it. I don't know how available it is to get your hands on, but this is a very valuable book. He says I haven't finished reading yet, but it looks like he's about to tell us why France and Russia went into the War of 1812. He said it was a hidden hand that organized it. He says earlier also that the Civil War was absolutely 100% organized, and nothing about that was organic or true as far as the version of the story that they told. But yes, I recommend if you could get your hands on this book. If you Google this guy, it's going to say he's racist and anti-semi-truck. But that's because of what he says in this book.
You guys know that 1913 was the year we actually lost control of our country, right? Oh, and just for historical context, World War I started in 1914. I mean, look, I'm sure that was a coincidence, but let me just tell you all the things that were created in 1913. First, the Federal Reserve, which is neither federal nor has any reserves. It's basically a private bank that just controls all of our money. Second thing created in 1913 was the IRS. And I'm sure it's just a coincidence that it was created the exact same year that a private bank took over all of our money. Yeah, I'm sure it's a coincidence that that was the year they started taxing you. Like, you work, they print, and then you pay them back with interest. Yeah, that makes sense. The next thing created was the Rockefeller Foundation. Yeah, and let's be real, that was all about philanthropy. It's not like they took control of medicine, education, science, and basically the health of the world. I mean, let's be real. All they were doing was donating money. Yeah, it's not like they were buying control of everything. Oh, and that worked out so well, right? Because people are healthier and more self-sufficient than ever, right? Oh yeah, also in 1913 was the American Cancer Society. I mean, that sounds like a good thing, right? That can't possibly be bad, except it was completely funded by extremely wealthy people. But even though it was a charity, they never really gave to anyone. No, they just took their money and invested in pharmaceutical drugs. Oh, and chemo. Yeah, instead of taking that money and investing in companies that were trying to find a cure, no, we'll just invest in companies that use chemicals from the military that were later banned. Yeah, that's a good thing to keep fucking putting into people. Then also created in 1913, the ADL, the Anti-Defamation League, which sure, yeah, it's about civil rights. Yeah, totally. It's not about censoring people or, silencing critics. And then in 1914, we had World War I. And that became the first war ever that private industry profited from war. The private industry that's owned by the same families that created the Fed, the IRS, the Rockefeller Foundation, the American Cancer Society, the ADL. Again, just a coincidence. Oh, I'd also like to point out that a year prior to 1913, 1912, yeah, that was when the Titanic sank. And it's funny how 3 of the wealthiest individuals on that ship were the loudest voices opposed to central banking. Oh, and there's also the little tidbit that JP Morgan was supposed to be on that boat, but he canceled at the last second. But yeah, that's conspiracy. That's tinfoil hat talk. So what's happened since 1913? Well, the dollar has lost 99% of its value. Our debt has just become like a number that we ignore. Middle class getting fucked daily. War is now an industry instead of a conflict. Oh yeah, and your money isn't real anymore. Like, it's just not real. It's not backed by anything. It's just numbers on a paper that private bank prints. So guys, look, if you're worried about America being conquered or, a rebellion or it being taken over, I just want you to recognize that you're more than 100 years too late. That shit already happened in 1913.
The year 1913 seemed like it had more of a significant impact on America than 1776.
Now this is what they didn't want you to know. This is what it's all about. This is the reset. This is the whitewash. All of these things that you hear about, the kings of Scotland, the kings of England, Wales, Ireland, the Atlanteans, the Tartarians, the Moors, they was everywhere, and they have been changed, renamed, repainted. They don't want you to know this. I know a lot of people are going to be upset. I'm going to lose followers. I understand. But the eyes are useless. I said, brother, the eyes are useless. I don't think you can hear me. What if the eyes was on point? If the eyes were showing you the truth, your mind was blind. Because for some people, even if they saw with their own eyes, they are still unable to believe it.
I had recently had a conversation with a doctor of divinity. We're talking. I said, okay, then, what was your thesis on? She goes, evil spirits. I said, okay, did they ever talk about sigils? So even the church world, in many ways, right, completely blinded to this phenomenon.
Oh, yeah.
And that's not a rebuke or anything. I'm just saying that the depth of this darkness, it would be almost unbearable to some. I'm talking to this doctor of divinity, right? And I can't disclose a lot of it, but how did you get in contact with my work? Like, what about it did you connect with? And she said it was a sigil. I said, okay, what happened? She said, well, she goes, I signed an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement with a hip-hop artist. And she goes, out of nowhere, I get this phone call from a friend. And next thing I know, I'm at this hotel and I go into this banquet room and here comes this artist. And she's like, he goes, I had to perform these rituals in order to get my music and my songs. And he's like, and at first he's like, it was just a ritual. I didn't think anything of it, whatever. I'll sign a check. He's like, but next thing I know, some things started manifesting to me and through me. He goes, and by the way, here's these huge, by the way, what are these on my back? Pulls his shirt off and there's sigils all over his back.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's what we're dealing with. And it's infiltrated in the entertainment. It's infiltrated, I mean, virtually everything. Yeah, and that's why I'm here today, Tony. Somebody's got to make a stand.
Yeah.
Not that we haven't already done that, but we have to do it with the data.
Yeah.
Right? It's one thing to believe it. It's another thing to say, listen, it's being corroborated by people who don't even believe in this stuff. And they got here, again, like the scientists in the 70s. They got here by virtue of the scientific method. Right? Of course, I could pull out T. Whitten Davies' books on demonology in the ancient Near East and say, well, yeah, it seems like they're inducing people into trances. It's another thing for them to say, hey, no, man, we put a brainwave monitoring unit and we captured the theta brainwave activity. Yeah, they're absolutely doing that to people. That's what gets me so passionate, because I've been a lifelong experiencer, and it's no longer a figment of our imagination. It's not just a belief. This is actually happening. We have to answer for that. But my point to you was, yeah, so the phenomenon will create simulants to appear a part of our reality, but it's not. And so it's doing that also not just with cryptids and ghosts, but even some of the, quote, demons we're witnessing in the field aren't even biblical at all. They're just, again, right, creations and constructs where the phenomenon can masquerade as horns and hooves until you engage it.
As soon as the contract is signed, the CLs are made right there on the spot. Do you understand what I'm talking about, guys? Look at Blueface. It's not Blueface, bro. You get it? They're made right there and then, just in case you get out of line, you get replaced instantly. But first, you gotta go somewhere. You know what I mean? Some time passes by. So it looks normal when you come out, looking like a different person. But if you know, and you know that's not normal, because I know people that went away for a long time and they still the same person. I'm pretty sure you know people like that as well. So what's really going on out there, guys? I just told you what's going on out there. Maybe that's in the contract when you sign it. And what's up with Kanye? What's up with him? I know you've seen what's going on with him. What's up with Mayweather? What is going on with these celebrities, guys? I don't know, but what I do know is that this video is for entertainment purposes only. I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know anything. But one thing I do know is that something is going on here, guys. I'm not sure what it is, but if you know what it is, let me know. I'm out.
There's some rappers that went to jail for a while and other celebrities that went MIA for whatever reason, but they come back looking a little bit different. I think after the first couple instances, it stopped being a coincidence. But that's it for the video. Thanks for kicking it with me, but before you leave, smash the like button and sub up, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.